Boy, it's just funny how the world works, isn't it? So, the Joker, before it came out, all we were hearing from these supposed credible media outlets, supposed credible, is that it was an incel movie. It's not an incel movie at all. There's nothing in the film at all about an incel or a MGTOW or any of that stuff, any of that whatever, white supremacy, male chauvinistic stuff, not in the movie at all, not even in the slightest. And that there would be a possibility of there being violence at screening, so we have to raise security and this and that. Now, raising security is fine. I mean, you want to make sure your movie theaters are all safe and secure for the kids and for the adults. But it got to the point where they were making this film out to be a film that was going to somehow inspire tragedy because of what happens in the movie with the Joker. Now, I'm not going to spoil what happens in the movie, but what happens in the movie is something that we've seen in other Joker adaptations, in other comic book movies, in other films overall, right? What he does. And here we are. It's been about a week since it came out, and nothing. There has been nothing at all. Nothing. No violent, nothing. Unless some kind of story, some kind of news story slipped through my fingers, which I assume it won't because they really want to push that narrative out, don't they? Nothing. I think the closest we came to anything bad happening was some dude got drunk and was acting like an idiot in one of the movie theaters, and then I think they found some kid with like a backpack, and then when they went through the backpack, they found no weapons. Nothing. There was nothing. The movie did nothing. And it just, again, it goes to show this whole like, and I've talked about this before, this pussified, cowardly society now where you have the media trying to scare you into being in fear so that you don't go see this movie because they want to push an agenda. Now, what that agenda is, I don't know, but it really does seem like there is an agenda. And I'm not one of those tinfoil hat type dudes, even though I love reading up on that kind of stuff. I'm not one of those guys, but after seeing the Joker film, it just feels like any other movie. In fact, Chris Stuckman in his review was like, if you're complaining about the violence in this movie, you don't watch movies, because this is tame. I mean, this is tame stuff. Even The Dark Knight, you could make an argument, was more violent than this movie. More people died in The Dark Knight, that's for sure. At least it seemed that way. Especially more, main characters and things like that, more important characters. The whole thing is so utterly ridiculous from day one when I see certain reviewers who I'm not going to name going around saying there should be metal detectors at movie theaters. I mean, if you're going to put them in there for every movie, go for it. But to single out this film because it's more realistic than other ones. I mean, Batman's always been the realistic character, the realistic superhero, right? That's always been his gimmick. And what about all the other movies that come out that are realistic? Well, this is a comic book movie, so we have to treat it differently. But the amount of, and I'm being sarcastic when I say that, by the way, but the amount of BS I've seen come out of this film is so mind-blowing. I mean, I've had people actually go and say it's a racist movie, even though if you watch the movie, the majority of people who screw around with Arthur and who hurt him both physically and emotionally are white. It's just the amount of just, I don't even want to use the word SJW because the word SJW has no meaning anymore, which I might do a video on. Everybody's definition of SJW is different. Same thing with the word toxic masculinity. That phrase has no meaning anymore. None, because everyone has a different opinion on what it means. But typically, people on the web tend to look at SJWs as people who just whine about everything. That seems to be the consensus on YouTube especially, right? That's what people think the SJWs are. They whine and they want to keep pushing their politics into media, into entertainment, right? Not everybody who does that is an SJW, though. But again, I say that by saying that SJW has no meaning anymore. You know what I mean? But the point is that it's so silly that there's all these articles being written and all these. It's not even on YouTube really, but it's like other forms, like other web articles and web magazines and big news publications warning us about this movie. Like, look, man, you should never be afraid to leave your house, no matter how bad things get out there. And yeah, things are pretty bad. There is a scary aspect of the world nowadays, right? There is a truth to it, right? Like, I understand somebody who has anxiety and doesn't want to leave the house for whatever reason, right? I get that. Like, you hear a crazy story about some killer on the news, and you just get freaked out. I understand that. I've never been freaked out over that kind of stuff because I choose to live my life free, right? I choose to, at least in the United States of America, obviously there's other countries and they have different laws, but here I've never been afraid to leave the house because if you allow the media to brainwash you, if you allow these people with clear political agendas to, change your perspective on humanity, right? You're letting them win. They're manipulating you. You understand what I'm saying? This is manipulation right here. And I'm one of those guys who I'm not even into politics. Like, I don't know what this even has to do with Donald Trump. I don't know what Rocky 5 had to do, or not Rocky 5, sorry, Rambo 5, Last Blood had to do with it, or what this has to do with it. There really isn't much of a correlation. There is like a whole subtext in Joker about like, the rich versus the poor and all that, but that's not a Donald Trump thing. That's just something that's gone on in society for centuries. You know what I mean? People thinking the rich are abusive, and some of them are, not all of them. And, this whole us versus them thing, it's been going on forever. That has nothing to do with our current president, but people like to throw in, their little opinions and make everything about their own personal political agenda, whether it be pro or against the president. And it's just, or other things, other causes. And it's so silly to me. Like, go see the movie and then judge for yourself. Especially a movie that got so much critical acclaim before it came out. It got like an 8-minute standing ovation at the film festivals, which to me is crazy. I couldn't stand and clap for 8 minutes, Maybe 1 minute at the most, but not 8 minutes, you know what I mean? And, obviously, Joaquin Phoenix got so much love for his performance. Don't ever let the media scare you. Even if you have anxiety, trust me on this one. Don't ever, I know it's hard, but don't ever let the media scare you into staying at home, dude. Like, or not going to see a movie because you're afraid of something happening to you. Like and yes, we did have the Aurora, Colorado thing, but the probability of these things happening, I'm not saying it's impossible, but the probability of these things happening are so low. And yes, there are people out there who are mentally ill, like Arthur was in the film. That's true, but you should never let it stop you from living your life and being happy and going to the movie theater and digesting 2 hours or 2.5 hours or 3 hours or 90 minutes worth of entertainment because you deserve to be entertained. Look, let's be real. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Y'all work hard. I work hard. We all have to work, except for those of us who don't, but most of us do. We all go to work. We all got to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where if I'm going to work, X amount of hours a day or X amount of hours a week, I want to be able to go see a movie or go to a live show, go to a basketball game or whatever, a football game, and not think in the back of my head, oh my God, is someone going to do something crazy? And these things happen, but it's such a low probability, you know what I mean? And because of that, I don't think that we, being the millions of people, and this video is not going to get 1 million views, but still, however many thousands watch this video, most of y'all are going to agree with me, I would assume, because I have a pretty good ratio of people, of like-minded people on this channel. It's not a political thing at all. I'm not a political person whatsoever. I don't even follow politics. That's just me. I just choose not to because I'm too busy with my own problems. You know what I'm saying? I have friends who are really into it. It's just not what I really do in my spare time. You know what I mean? But you can just tell that this whole thing is supposed to create this image that this film is supposed to be bad for us as people when it's just a movie. And it's literally, I have grown up watching more violent movies. I have grown up watching more adult movies with nudity and things like that. I've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger tear up 15 people in one scene. I mean, we've seen this. We've grown up with this, and I turned out fine. I played Mortal Kombat. I listened to rap music. I listened to hard rock when I was younger. I actually had a hard rock phase for a while, folks, believe it or not, a metal phase. I did all the things that I wasn't supposed to do, and because I had good parents and who taught me right from wrong, both in their successes and in their failures, I turned out okay. Like, I'm not saying that I don't have issues. We all have a little bit of something wrong with us, right? We all have trauma from our past. Let's be real about it, right? Let's be real. We're being real here, okay? But I've never had the urge to hurt somebody. Seeing Joker did not give me the urge to, go on the streets and picket against rich folks. It gave me the urge to watch it again because it was such a good movie and because Joaquin Phoenix is awesome. That's what it gave me the urge to do. It gave me the urge to go and talk to my friends about it and make videos about it. That's what gave me the urge to do and get the conversation going about how great this movie is. And I think most people out there is the same thing. Joker's a movie that's worth talking about with your friends. And I know a lot of y'all did that, whether it be your friends online, your friends in real life, or even in the comment section of my videos and other reviewers' videos, right? That's what these movies do. Yeah, you're going to have a very small minority number of people who might be influenced by the film, but will they ever act on those influences? Probably not. I mean, we haven't heard anything happen yet. If something happens, it sucks, but so far nothing has happened. You know what I mean? Nothing has happened. So it's silly. And then don't even forget that when the Dark Knight Rises thing happened in Aurora, don't forget how the media tried to spin that into the killer being a Joker fan, even though he himself admitted that he wasn't a Joker fan. Because remember, he dyed his hair red, even though the Joker does not have red hair. You know, don't forget that amount of BS that they tried to spin to us back then. Don't even forget it, dude. These people don't even... and this is the scary part, yo. This is the scary part. For the news, we're supposed to trust the news to be accurate. We're supposed to trust the news to be truthful. And many times they're anything but. Sometimes they don't do any research. Sometimes they straight up lie. Sometimes they get things wrong just because they want to create this story headline to sell newspapers. That's how it used to be. Now it's to get clicks on websites because we live in the internet age now. That's why it's here, bro. So, it's just so silly that here we are days later and nothing's happened. Ooh, the Joker. Oh, man. Don't ever be afraid to go see a movie or to live your life. I love you. Other people love you too, and you know that's true. I'll talk to you soon.